Man, I love sissy squats. There's just no better way to really concentrate and focus on the quadriceps, and they're even better when done on suspension straps. Now, the setup, we have the straps at roughly about knee height for the handles, and I keep the straps out at arm's length, so we're not bending the elbows, which are going to just change the dynamic of the exercise. I'm standing on a mat because I'm barefoot, although I usually prefer to do this with shoes. And we stand completely upright. We don't want to lean our weight onto the straps because that puts weight on our hands instead of in our feet where we want it to be. When we're about to do our first rep, we want to make sure that we're keeping our glutes and our hamstrings super, super tight. I mean, really contracted to a very, very high degree in order to stabilize the entire leg, and that also kind of sucks out the tension out of the knees. We have our arms out in front of us, and we just simply bend at the knees forward, and the torso rocks back, kissing the knees to the floor, and then driving the toes straight into the floor and back up. We want to make sure we're not allowing the arms to move very much independent of the torso while we're doing this. So if I do a sissy squat and my arms come up, I'm not really leaning back. And that's where a lot of the resistance of the sissy squat comes into play. Think of a strict movement where the knee is primarily where we're moving and everything else kind of stays locked in place to keep the technique strict and the emphasis on the quads. And progression is a breeze because all you need to do is move forward or backwards, and a little bit goes a long way. So the more we move forward, the more the straps are going to force me to bend back and really have a lot of resistance against my quads. But if I back up even a few inches, hands come down, and it doesn't require me to lean back nearly as much. It's also certainly possible to do this weighted if you hold a dumbbell or a kettlebell in hand, and so you can add external weight or have a weight vest, and you can also play around with the progression based on where your feet are. A little bit wider tends to be a little more stable and easier to manage, versus going with a more narrow stance makes for a very intense experience for the entire quadriceps muscle. I've left a sample sissy squat workout down below in the description on how you can integrate it into other conventional exercises like lunges and squats, but for the most part, treat it like you would any other leg extension exercise that you would at the gym, about 8 to 12 repetitions, 2 or 3 sets. The usual sort of bodybuilding-esque rep and sep ranges tend to do very well for this exercise. If you have any further questions, check out these videos here for more on the sissy squat and my micro workout approach to leg training, and leave your thoughts, comments, and questions down below in the description. Thank you very much for watching. Be fit and live free.